Before we start the video, it's time for the KOG Boy roll call. This is for all the people who are supporting me as a KOG member of the month, and I appreciate ya. So big shout out to Ryan McDonough and my boy Kato Senpai. You guys are awesome, just saying. How's it going, guys? aRenG Life here, and today the new main box has been leaked. Big shout out to Duel's Meta for having all this information on their page. So yeah, we actually get to look at all the new stuff. So ooh, it's looking pretty interesting. So right off the bat, Future Horizon is the name of this box. We do not have a date for when it's going to drop yet, but probably within the next week to 2 weeks. I don't know, man. Konami's doing this thing where they like just keep releasing boxes like 2 per month, and it's getting really annoying because I can't afford to spend over $100 on each box, if it's especially when it's two boxes a month. But whatever. That's we're gonna go ahead and actually talk about what are the best cards in this new leaked set. But whatever. First things first, you might notice Future Horizon, the main box card is that Stardust Spark Dragon. Now, Stardust Spark Dragon is, I like it a little bit more than the other Stardust because what it does is it says once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one face-up card you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Now, that's pretty nice, mainly because it's just like, it's a very, very quick effect. So it's once per turn during either player's turn. So you can wait until your opponent's going to activate anything to destroy you, and you can be like, nah, man, let me just Spark Dragon that protection over here. So that's why I think Spark Dragon is so cool. It's as easy to summon as it is to summon Stardust. Just a really good generic card to have. Another card we got is Trigo Dia, dude. It says when you pit and take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it gains 600 attack and defense for each card in your hand. Once per turn, you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then target one face-up monster your opponent controls with the same level of the monster you sent to the grave, and then take control of that monster forever. It's a permanent steal, which is kind of crazy. Also, on top of that, it also says once per turn, you can target one monster in your graveyard, and this guy's level becomes that monster's level. So you can use them for synchros. So that's why I think Trigo Dia is really, really awesome. Also, just the fact that when you take battle damage, you get to summon him, and he gains 600 attack for each monster or whatever card in hand. So that could be really, really good to have a nice, big, strong monster. I used to play this in the TCG a lot when I was playing Chaos Dragons, by the way. So Trigo Dia, really cool card. Next up, we got Artifact Lancia. So we got Lancia in the game. We got literally artifacts. So you can set this card from your hand to your spell and trap zones as a spell card. So right off the bat, this is bringing monsters that can be set into the spell and trap card zone. Ignoring that one card that was like a Yugi reward or whatever that just nobody played ever. But yeah, so this guy can be pretty much set in the spell and trap card zone. And then it says during your opponent's turn, if this set card in the spell and trap card zone is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, special summon it. And so that's a pretty cool way to just get a free 2300 defense monster on the field. And you can just summon it on your opponent's turn. Especially if you have cards that let you destroy your own back row, and you can use them on your opponent's turn, like, what is it, Double Cyclone and stuff like that. That can be pretty good. During your opponent's turn, you can tribute this card from your hand or face up on the field. Neither player can banish cards for the rest of this turn. Now, you know they're going to go for a banish play because the spoilers, this deck is bringing a lot of banish support. You can basically say, nah, man, real quick, let me just go ahead and stop you right there, get rid of this card, and then you can't banish anymore. So it could potentially stall them out or lock them out for that one turn, and then you get to like OTK on the next turn or whatever. So I think Artifact Lancia is a really, really cool card. It could probably just be used on its own. Next up, we got Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. So we're also getting a lot of Cyber Dragon support. You need 2+ Cyber Dragon monsters to fuse into him. 2100 attack, 1600 defense. Stat line's pretty meh, but it's got a pretty good effect. It says a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. So you need Cyber Dragon monsters, no machines, no nothing. You need Cyber Dragons. But fortunately, there's a lot of monsters that can become Cyber Dragon in name. So when this card is fusion summoned, you can target spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for the fusion summon and then destroy them. So that is another thing that makes it interesting. So immediately, if you're going for the minimum requirement of 2 Cyber Dragons, you get to literally destroy 2 back row cards. And that is pretty nice. I really like that. We are getting a lot of cards in this set that kind of do that. On summon blows up your whole opponent's board or blows up some of their cards. But I personally think this could be really, really good because it can destroy all the annoying copies of, like, I don't know, Drowning, Wall of D, stuff that you don't want to deal with. it continues to say, by the way. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the grave, and if you do, for each monster sent to the grave, this card gains 1 additional attack for during each battle phase this turn. So as you can see, that's kind of crazy because you can basically mill 2 light machines, and this guy can attack 2 more times. So yeah, that's kind of insane. That's pretty good. So there you go, more options for Cyber Dragons. I think that's pretty cool. I'm starting to regret the fact that I only have 2 copies of regular Cyber Dragons, so oof, rip indeed. But whatever, next up we got DD Warrior Lady. Banished support is here. We already have a few cards that kind of do the same thing as her. But yeah, this one says, after damage calc, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster. Also banish this card. So pretty cool. I mean, it basically, you attack into them, you take the damage, or you deal damage, and then you can banish. It's pretty decent. It's not a bad card. I think the other one needs to be destroyed. I think DD Assailant needs to be destroyed for his condition to be met. That's why maybe DD Warrior Lady is maybe a little bit better, but I'm not sure. I just think she's alright. Next up, we got Super Heavy Samurai Daihatsu. Now here's the thing, we're also getting Super Heavy Samurais. You have a deck that's literally supposed to be almost like, I think, 100% monsters. You're not supposed to run spells or traps in this deck because they don't work with this deck. But you have these monsters that basically all of them have this ability. It says when this card is normal or special summon, you can change the battle position of this card, and this card can attack when it's in defense, and you apply the defense as its attack, kind of. So it's got 1800 defense, so you switch to defense when you normal summon it or whatever, and then he can attack in defense position. Now, I was thinking this guy's going to be crazy because I really want to give him Spike Shield. I think Spike Shield's going to be hilarious for this deck, but I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. So, Super Heavy Samurai Daihatsu over here. Aside from that ability, says if you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, which is a condition most Super Heavy Samurais have, you pretty much, this is why I'm saying it has to be almost 100% monsters, unless you can banish your spells and traps in your grave. You can change this card you control from face-up defense to attack position, and if you do, add 1 Super Heavy Samurai Soul monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of this guy once per turn. So that is pretty good because this guy is literally your searcher, so that's pretty nice. And that's pretty much what these guys do. But next up we got Overload Fusion. This is a straight up like this is like a Cyber Dragon thing, actually. But yeah, so this one says fusion summon 1 Dark Machine Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your field or graveyard. Now that's what it gets crazy, because you can banish from the grave. That makes it so much easier, because before we used to use this, like, what is it, that Cyber Kinetic whatever, the one that you pay half your life points to be able to use your graveyard as a resource. Now you don't need to, because you can just run Overload Fusion, and you can just say, hey man, banish all this stuff from my grave, summon a big boy, GG, I gotcha. So you can use this to summon pretty much this bad boy, and a few other cards that that are not coming to mind that are darks. Dark Magical Circle. Now this card is pretty much the only Dark Magician support I think we're getting, which is cool because this card is actually amazing. It's really, really good in Dark Magician, adds some consistency, and it also gives you the power to just be really aggressive and just banish your opponent's stuff. This one reads, when this card is activated, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, then reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 spell or trap card that specifically lists Dark Magician among them. Add it to your hand. So pretty cool right there, literally just adding a card to your hand. Also, you choose the order of how you're going to put them on the top of your deck, so you know the next few cards, or the next 2 at least. So you know the next 2 cards are going to be on top of the deck. On top of that, by the way, this guy is a continuous spell. So aside from that, it also has the ability, if Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to the field, to your field at least, except during the damage step, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it, and you can only use this thing once per turn, the effect of this. So that's why I think this card is really, really good. It basically says, I'm going to activate this, I'm going to choose the next order of my cards. Also, hey, I'm going to activate my trap and special summon Dark Magician on your turn, and now you're going to banish your stuff. So that's why I think that's kind of crazy. So yeah, and then it says if Dark Magician is normal or special summon to your side of the field, you target 1 card your opponent. I don't think it's 1 for each Dark Magician, so if you just summon 2. So I think you're literally hard limited to 1. I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you guys know, if you guys know how this works exactly. But yeah, if you can actually like summon 2 Dark Magicians, banish 2 cards, that would be absolutely busted and insane. But I don't think it works that way. And then the last card as a UR is Chain Disappearance. Now, it's kind of funny that we got this because I get the feeling like Konami's like, okay, yeah, we gave Invoke too much power, or we're giving them too much power so people will buy stuff, but now their time to have fun is over. Let's go ahead and add cards that just shut them down. So this one says, when a monster with 1,000 or less attack is summoned in general, banish that monster with 1,000 or less attack. Then your opponent banishes all cards with the same name as that card from their hand or deck. So literally the absolute first thing that came to mind is Alistair. Summon Alistair, activate Chain Disappearance, banish all 3 copies from their deck. And then they can't touch it, because sure, they get a search, but what are they going to do when all their Alistairs are banished? They can't do anything, and that's kind of crazy. Unless they can somehow get their cards into the grave, their invocation. Yeah, good luck with that, my dude. Good luck actually pulling off a fusion with no Alistairs. That's why I think Chain Disappearance is just a really, really good card just for Alistair, just to counter Alistair, and maybe a few other cards. Now, moving on to the SRs, we got Thunder Dragon Duo over here. Probably one of their beater boss monsters that is not a fusion. Unfortunately, we did not get any Thunder Dragon fusions, which could be really, really good. Cannot be normal summoner set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing a light and dark monster from the grave. So it's literal chaos shenanigans, which is awesome. And then it says, once per turn, if a monster effect is activated in the hand, this card gains 300 attack. So pretty cool. So if you activate any of your Thunder Dragon quick effects in the hand, this guy can basically gain a nice boost. So pretty nice to use them in like when they're battling him or whatever. Maybe, I don't know about damage stat, but yeah. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can banish 1 card from your grave, add 1 Thunder monster from your deck to your hand, which is pretty decent. So as long as this guy's beating up, you can constantly be adding things, you can be banishing things. When you banish Thunder Dragons, they can also get more searches and stuff. So yeah, this guy can definitely push for a lot of power, and he can be pretty strong in this deck. Once returned during your opponent's end phase, you can target one of your banished cards, place it on top of your bottom of your deck, dude. You also don't deck out, which is kind of cool. So Thunder Dragon Duo, I think he's going to be like the boss monster that we're going to need in Thunder Dragons. And it's because we don't have any fusions, unfortunately, but pretty cool. Next up, we got Junk Archer, a card that it's taken forever for us to get, but yeah, I'm telling you guys, we get all the banished support like all in this box. But yeah, Junk Archer is here. It's Earth level 7. Warrior Synchro needs Junk Synchron, so then you need that bad boy to use him. So rip if you pull this and you don't have Junk Synchron. Maybe. There's actually a few roundabout ways to summon him, though. It says, once per turn, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls, banish it. During the end phase of this turn, return it to the position or whatever, return it to your opponent's side of the field, whatever. Same position. So, the beauty of this card is basically, oh, your opponent's got a big monster, that's like the only monster standing in their way, and you're 1 hit away from lethal. Okay, summon Junk Archer, banish their monster, attack directly, game. That's pretty much what Junk Archer is for. And I guess I'll talk about his requirements for Junk Synchron and whatever in a bit. But next up, we got Giant Rat. The biggest of rats is finally in the game, which it took him a while, dude. It took Konami a while to actually give us this. They gave us Mystic Tomato before they gave us Giant Rat. I honestly expected to get Giant Rat first. I literally had forgotten that this guy was not even in the game. I thought he was in the game already. But Giant Rat is pretty much what, like the Mother Grizzly, the Mystic Tomato of Earth monsters. So pretty cool. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon the 1 Earth monster with 1500 or less attack from the deck in attack position. So you can literally just stall from Giant Rat into Giant Rat into Giant Rat into another 4th monster. Next up, we got Super Heavy Samurai Soul Piercer. It literally gives it away in the name, Soul Piercer. This card is a card that's going to give your Super Heavy Samurai monsters piercing. So that's pretty cool because they're already attacking for the defense, they're already kind of protected, and if you somehow send this card to the grave or whatever, for whatever reason, if it goes to the grave, you can basically get a search, and that's also pretty nice because anything that pays for itself is worth it. Next up, we got Crabons, dude. Crabons is another really, really good card. Glad we got Crabons. We might be getting Emergency Teleport eventually. E-Tele is really, really good combined with the Crabons. But yeah, Crabon's level 2 Dark Tuner, and when he's attacked, you can negate the attack by paying 800 life points. It's pretty decent because it keeps your tuner on the board, and you can synchro next turn. So, Crabon's awesome. Now we got Cyber Dragon Core. I'm telling you guys, we're getting all the Cyber Dragon support. When this card is normal summon, add 1 Cyber Spell or Trap from the deck to your hand. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can banish this card from the grave. Special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from the deck. So it could be any Cyber Dragon monster, by the way. It doesn't have to be Cyber Dragon. So that's why it's pretty cool. and you can only use the effect of this guy once per turn, and only once that turn. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Now that's where it gets good, because its name becomes Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. Next up, we got Rush Warrior. Now this is a thing that I noticed because we got the new event that I didn't feel like covering, 5D's dice event in Duel Links, and one of the rewards is what, Scrap Fist, which that card is kind of obscenely powerful. Rush Warrior works really, really well to actually help out with that play, because it's like, hey man, if you have a Warrior Synchro monster, by the way, which is your Junk Warrior, if he's attacking, you can like double his stats, which is kind of insane. You can banish this card from your grave, target one Synchron monster in your grave, add it to your hand, and you can only use the effect of this guy once per turn. So it's just amazing because it literally recycles your Synchron monster, which is really, really good. So Rush Warrior is looking really awesome. Speaking of which, I'm skipping the next card to keep the train rolling. Righty Driver is the card that I was talking about earlier. This one basically can substitute for any Synchron tuner, which is amazing. This is probably going to be the go-to for summoning your Scrap Boy. For Synchro Summons, you can substitute this card for any Synchron tuner. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon a Lefty Driver from your hand, deck, or grave, which is kind of insane. You can only use the effect of this guy once per turn. Now that we read Righty Driver, we have to look at Lefty. Lefty is over here, and it basically says, if this card is special summon, you can make this card become level 3 during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from the grave, add one Righty Driver from the deck to your hand. So if you run like 2 or 3 copies of each of these cards, you can literally normal summon Righty, adds Lefty, then go for a Synchro or something, then next turn banish Lefty, add another copy of Righty, and keep it going. So that's why I think that's pretty cool, and I have to look into both of them so you can actually see the utility of this card. That's why I think Righty Driver is pretty cool. And the card that I skipped was Super Heavy Samurai Soul Peacemaker. Now, this card says you can target one Super Heavy Samurai monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or field to that target. While this card is equipped to that monster, by this effect, your monsters your opponent controls cannot attack a monster you control except the equipped monster. So you can basically give this to one of your big Synchro monsters, and then they cannot attack any of your other small boys, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. So pretty cool right there, except for this card. You can tribute a monster you control equipped with this card. By this card's effect, special summon one Super Heavy Samurai. Why do I keep calling it Super Heavy? Super Heavy Samurai monster from your deck. And you can make use of this thing once per turn only. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can equip it and you can get the exact Super Heavy Samurai monster you want. So you can literally go into this to pretty much search your boy Daihachi, which is pretty cool. So that's what that's good for. Next up, we got Cyber Load Fusion. This card says fusion summon one fusion monster that lists Cyber Dragon monster as a material from your extra deck. By shuffling fusion materials in your possession listed on it into your deck that you control or are banished, so from your field or in the banish pile, which is kind of crazy because that adds way more extension. So it's probably, I don't know about it being like a really good first turn card, but the fact that it's just a quick play, it can help you go for games. And then the last card, last SR in this set, is going to be Sai Frame Circuit. This is a field spell, and I think this is a pretty cool card. The thing is, we are getting some Sai Frames as well. We're not getting Sai Frame Lord Omega, so we gotta chill there. No, that guy's gonna be a UR in his own box. I guarantee that. But this card says, if a Sai Frame monster is special summoned to your side of the field, except during damage step, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon one Synchro monster using only Sai Frame monsters you control. So in a Sai Frame deck, yeah, it could get pretty crazy. It lets you quick Synchro. At the start of the damage step, if a Sai Frame monster you control battles an opponent's monster, you can discard one Sai Frame monster. Your battling monster gains attack equal to the discarded monster's attack until the end of this turn, which is kind of crazy. You can literally just discard any large Sai Frame monster. Like, whoa, look at him over here. Like, we got like these guys over here. 2,500 attack on this boy. Get rid of him. That's a damage step boost right there. You got like all these other cards. This one's got 2,500 defense, so I don't know about that one. But yeah, you got a lot of options. It's gonna be pretty crazy. But yeah, the one you're gonna go for is probably Sai Frame Lord Zeta. This one says, this is just special, like, mentions, whatever. These are rares, by the way, but some of these rares are actually pretty decent. So Sai Frame Lord Zeta says, once per turn during either player's turn, you can target one special summon monster your opponent controls in face-up attack position, banish both that monster and this card from the field, and return them in the next standby phase. This card is, if this card is in your graveyard, by the way, you can target one other Sai Frame card, not even a monster, a card, that's in the grave, and return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, add that target to your hand. So you don't even need multiple copies of Sai Frame Lord Zeta. You could have one copy and you can just keep recycling him if you are running a bunch of Sai Frame cards. Which I think is pretty nice. I think that's pretty cool right there. And then last special mentions, I want to talk about some of the Super Heavy Samurai synchros. Now we have Super Heavy Samurai Stealth Ninja over here. We don't have any SR or UR synchros for them yet. They're going to be eventually coming in another boxes, I guarantee it. But yeah, this one says you need a machine type tuner and one or more non-tuner machine monsters. So this one doesn't even need full-on Super Heavy Samurais. But this card says that this card can attack while facing defense. It does apply defense. Yep, that's normal. 2800 defense though. That's a pretty large boy. It says if you have no spell and trap cards in the grave, you can have this guy's defense and make him attack directly, which is also pretty nice. And then it says once per turn during the next standby phase, after this card was destroyed by a card effect and sent to the grave, you can special summon this guy back. So that's the beauty of it. You have a 2800 boy who can attack directly. Your opponent's going to be like, okay, I need to get rid of this card. They're going to need to destroy it. Maybe if they destroy it with a card effect, he can come back and he can keep pressing. So that's why this guy is pretty decent. I like it. I think it's a decent little boss monster. And then the next one is Super Heavy Samurai Ogre Shutendoji. This one says it needs a machine tuner and a non-tuner, one or more non-tuner Super Heavy Samurai monsters. This one actually needs Super Heavy Samurais. This card can attack while in face-up defense position. If it does, apply its defense for damage calc. When this card is synchro summoned, while you have no spell and trap cards in your grave, you could destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. That's what I was talking about earlier. So you can literally summon this guy and he blows up everything, and that's pretty decent. Alright, but that's pretty much that. There's so many cards in this set that I'm just not going to have time to talk about. So we're going to have to leave those for some of the time. But yeah, let me know what you guys are most excited for in this box, because we're getting some crazy support. I don't know if you guys, let me know if you're just excited for the Dark Magician support. Maybe you guys are just big fans of artifacts, or maybe just really want to play Stardust Spark Dragon. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. But whatever, that's pretty much that. And if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more dueling shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys.